welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today, we are going to be discussing who do we think is going to be the Championship's top scorer for the 2018/19 season. In the description down below, I'll leave a poll for you guys to go ahead and vote on. On that poll, you'll be able to see a whole list of Championship players. What I want you guys to do is go ahead and vote for who do you think will be the top 3 scorers this season. And also leave a comment in the comments down below as to who do you think is going to be the top scorer this season. And then at the end of the season, I'll be coming back and reacting to this video and looking about what you guys were thinking at this point in time in the season. I went ahead and did this video last year as well, and as you can see, these were the results from last year's poll. And you guys went ahead and voted for Lasogga as who you thought would be the Championship's top scorer. I think in the end he finished on around about 10 goals. A lot of you voted for him. Obviously, when he was coming into the Championship, you know, quite a big reputation, a player like that coming over from the Bundesliga. He was okay at times, but never really went ahead and set the world alight in the Championship. So you're a bit off on that one. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be talking through some players who I realistically can see finishing as the Championship's top scorer. I'll give an argument for some different players, and then at the end of the video, I will give you guys my top 5 for who I think will finish as the Championship's top scorers, and I'll say how many goals I think they'll all finish on. But just before we do get into any of that, guys, let me know down below also what do you make of your team's performance last night, if they did play or if they are playing tonight as well. Obviously, we saw Derby County go ahead and beat Ipswich 2-0, quite a good win for them. Joe Ledley scoring a really good goal in that game. We also saw QPR go ahead and lose 3-0 to Bristol City. The pressure at the moment is just continuing to accumulate on Steve McLaren, and the whole situation at QPR at the moment is looking like it could turn sour very fast. You know, it already has. We also saw Hull City go ahead and pick up a dramatic 3-2 away win at Rotherham United, and then we saw Swansea City draw 2-2 with Leeds United in what was a very entertaining game in the end, actually. Of course, Leeds have lost their 100% record, but they're quite an entertaining game, that one. Ollie McBurney popping up with 2 goals, so maybe he could be in with a shout of a top scorer. So what I'll do now, guys, we will count through a few players in the Championship who realistically I could see finishing as the top scorer. I'll give a bit of an argument as to why they could become the top scorer this season. Then at the end of that, I'll go ahead and give you guys my top 5. First up, we got Jonathan Kodjia, someone in the Championship who always seems to score goals. Last season he picked up an injury and wasn't really involved for Villa, so we can't really judge him on that season. The year before that, though, he managed to go ahead and bag 19 goals. The way he started the season with Villa, you know, with his first 2 performances weren't too promising, but the way he played against Ipswich and getting his first goal of the season, I think we'll see a much improved Kodjia going into this year. And with the service he's got of players in that Villa midfield in and around him, I think Kodjia could be a good shout for this one if he does get his head on this season. Neil Maupay of Brentford is someone who I could definitely see being the Championship's top scorer this season. With the way that Brentford play and Neil Maupay being the focal point of most of their attacks, and the fact that in most game weeks Brentford actually go ahead and create the most chances per 90 minutes, Neil Maupay is definitely with a shout. There are some times where you can question his finishing, you know, it is a little bit dubious. Finishing sometimes does seem to be a little bit off, but just because of the sheer amount of chances that Brentford actually go on to create, and the way that Maupay started the season as well, the way he links up with the midfielders in and around him, he could definitely be in with a shout this season. As well as him, you've also got Ollie Watkins, who likes to drift inside from the left-hand side. Currently, he's also on 3 goals this season, so another option, maybe perhaps one more out there. Bristol City are always going to be a team who are going to have some options for the top scorer, in my opinion. We've already seen Vyman so far start the season absolutely fantastically with 3 goals already. If he can continue that for a whole season, then who knows what Bristol City are capable of. But one player I do really like with Bristol City is Jeju. He is suspended for the first 6 games of the season, which is going to obviously put him at a bit of a disadvantage, but when he does come back into the side, I think he will be a much needed boost for this Bristol City side. He gives them that physical presence going forward, and despite getting injured last season, he went ahead and picked up 13 goals in the Championship. And with the way that Bristol City like to play football, they're always going to have some high scorers in there. Derby County have a couple of options. Tom Lawrence has started the season very well for them. I said in one of my previous videos that I fancy him to have a big season for Derby this year, and so far he's gone on to prove that, already popping up with 3 goals. But in terms of a striker, so far Derby have started with David Nugent, which has slightly surprised me. I'd like to see Jack Marriott starting the next game for them. I think he perhaps gives them a different dynamic going forward. And with him scoring 33 goals in all competitions for Peterborough last year, definitely with the shout if he does get a nailed-on spot in that Derby County starting 11. Another player from Derby is going to be Martin Wycorn. Derby's attacking options, they have an absolute flurry of them. So Derby fans, it'd be interesting to know from you guys, who do you think will score the most goals from your team this season? But Martin Wycorn, another option in there, scores goals, he gets assists, got into double figures with both of them last season. Middlesbrough have quite a few attacking options this season. Martin Braithwaite and Britta Assombalonga so far have both looked absolutely superb. There are actually quite a few reports coming out that Braithwaite is being linked with a move away from Middlesbrough, obviously with the international transfer window not closing until the end of this month. That would be disastrous for Middlesbrough in my opinion. They need to go ahead and keep him. The way he started the season, already going ahead and scoring 3 goals, and the link-up play that him and Assombalonga have shown so far, you know, he gives them that bit more creativity going forward and has a final product as well, and has that very good relationship with Assombalonga. Braithwaite's going to have to stay at Middlesbrough, and if he does stay, I think he has a good chance of becoming top scorer, as does a player like Assombalonga, you know, a proven goal scorer in the Championship if played in the right system, and if the chances are going to be there, Assombalonga is always going to score goals. I think last season he scored around 15 goals for Middlesbrough, and he didn't really even have his best season then, so if he is firing on all cylinders, Assombalonga is definitely in with a shout. Perhaps a more outside the box shout could be Lee Gregory for Millwall. The way that they've started the season, they've looked to replicate what they did last year. You know, they're going forward, not sitting back against teams, and not holding anything back when they are attacking and going forward. And if anyone was going to be their top scorer this season, I put my money on it being him. Jordan Rhodes for Norwich City is a very interesting shout. The way that Norwich have gone forward this season, they've actually looked quite good, you know, in terms of creativity. When they did lose, you know, Murphy and Madison in the latest transfer window, you thought that they may struggle for goals this season, but creativity hasn't really been Norwich's problem so far. It's just been their defence, which has looked absolutely all over the place. But with a proven goal scorer like Jordan Rhodes, not had the easiest ride over the past few years, you know, his confidence does seem to be low. But with the service he's getting from players like Onel Hernandez, who started the season fantastically for them, and Timu Pukki linking up with him as well, who knows, Jordan Rhodes could be in for a good one this season with Norwich. He's already got a couple of goals for them, and he's looked quite good for them so far. Nottingham Forest have got Soudani so far. He seemed to be their main man going forward. We've also got Lewis Grabban from Nottingham Forest as well. However, he hasn't really hit the ground running so far. He's yet to score a goal, also missed a penalty as well, which of course Soudani followed in to equalise against Wigan. But Soudani has been the man so far, popping up with the big goals for Nottingham Forest. Lewis Grabban not really fit into the system so far. He's not really had the ball fall to him at the right times at the moment, but I'm sure, you know, he scored 20 goals last season. A striker of his calibre will find his feet in this Forest side eventually. It's just going to take time for him to click into it. My team, Preston North End, have got some interesting options going forward, signing Lucas Nemecha from Manchester City on a season-long loan. There are a lot of other Championship clubs interested in him, and so far we've not seen the best of him. I don't think we've seen some good movements from him so far, but we've not really seen that killer instinct in front of goal. But in fairness to him, the service for a striker in the first 2 games that he's played against Swansea and Stoke City wasn't really the best. A lot of our goals have come from midfield so far. But one player who I do think can change that for Preston is, of course, Shawnee Maguire. He gives us that edge in the final third, and last season scoring 10 goals in only 19 starts for Preston. He did pick up an injury in pre-season, which has ruled him out for the first few weeks, but when he does return, I'm hoping he can stay fit for the rest of the season, and then he will hit the ground running, you know. We saw last season with the low centre of gravity he's got, he's an absolute nightmare for defenders when he's running at them, and having the finishing that he's got inside the box, Shawnee Maguire could be an outside shout for this season. Sheffield United have a couple of shouts in there as well, the likes of Billy Sharp, Leon Clark and David McGoldrick. You know, Leon Clark last season surprised a lot of people with the amount of goals he scored. I would be very surprised if Leon Clark was able to replicate that this season, but who knows. Sheffield Wednesday as well, also an interesting proposition. Fernando Forestieri, someone I'd like to see have a big season for them this season. So far for Sheffield Wednesday, it's not been the easiest ride for them at the start of the season. You know, defensively they've looked a little bit all over the place. Forestieri going forward, I think he's looked good so far, but a couple patches where Sheffield Wednesday really need to tighten up this season. But if they do get some of their forward options playing to their maximum capabilities, who knows what could happen for them. Forestieri is someone who I do fancy to get quite a few assists this season and score quite a few goals. Nuhiu, who knows how many he'll score this season. And they've got a couple of other options. Benicofobé for Stoke City is a very interesting one. He scored 2 goals so far in the Championship. And Stoke haven't really been the best so far, but they have picked up a couple of points recently. I'll be interested to see what they do tonight against Wigan Athletic. I think this is quite a big game for Stoke City, really. They could really do with getting their first 3 points on the board. But in terms of their top scorer, I'd imagine it would be Benicofobé. He's a proven goal scorer in the Championship and has already shown he's got that knack for goals. If they do find the right system for him, he could be in with a shout. Obviously, Leeds United are going to have some options in there. Kamar Roof so far has been their main man with 4 goals already. He popped up with another last night against Swansea City. My favourite goal that he scored so far was his second goal against Derby County, having that tight control inside the box and then rifling it into the roof of the net. A fantastic finish from him, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that he might have been wrote off this season with Patrick Bamford coming into the squad, but that just seems to have spurred him on even more, and so far Roof has looked absolutely fantastic, and if he can continue that for a whole season, you know, he's playing with confidence confidence at the moment. Got players in behind him who are going to supply him for the whole year. Who knows what could happen? And Patrick Bamford is of course another option who could be the top scorer this season. I think before a ball was kicked, a lot of people would have probably been putting money on Patrick Bamford, but with the way that Roof started, Bamford's going to find it hard to get into that starting 11, with of course Leeds only playing with one striker. But I think with rotation throughout the whole season, both of them will score their fair share of goals. Ollie McBurney, a player who I very much like, last season for Barnsley, scoring 9 goals in the Championship in only about 18 games for them. Also scored last night 2 goals against Leeds United. What I like about him is he's a poacher inside the box, and if he is given a full season at Swansea City as their main striker, I think he can do quite well for them this year. Jay Rodriguez is going to be a lot of people's favourites, I'm sure. So far this season, he has started it fantastically well, already going ahead and scoring 4 goals for them. He's on penalties for West Brom, and with some of the creativity that they've got in their squad, you know, they got the likes of Matty Phillips and Harvey Barnes, who started the season fantastically. Also, they got Dwight Gale in there as well. West Brom have got a lot of attacking options, and realistically, Jay Rodriguez, you know, he is a Premier League striker, so playing in the Championship, I think he'll light it up this year. And I'll end this bit of the video by talking about some of the more outside chats perhaps for the top scorer. Bradley Dack so far for Blackburn Rovers started the season very well. Obviously he is a midfielder, and you don't tend to find someone like that becoming the top scorer, although I suppose we had Vidra last season. He mostly played as number 10, so with the way that Bradley Dack started this season, who knows, he's been very good so far. Also Nick Powell for Wigan Athletic, he's been a very good striker for them. Also they've got other options in there, Joe Garner coming into the team, Will Grigg as well. Josh McGuinness for Bolton Wanderers, he started this season very well, already going ahead and scoring 2 goals for them. The way that Bolton have started this season, a lot of people have been surprised. Yannick Vilchut, another shout in there. But guys, there were some of the players who I realistically could see finishing as the top scorers in the Championship this season. So I will now go ahead and give you guys my top 5 for who I think it's going to be this season, and I'll give them in order. So coming in at number 5, I'm actually going to have 2 players in here who I both think will finish on 15 goals. That is going to be Benik Afobe and Jonathan Kodjia. I think with Kodjia being Aston Villa's main man this season, and the way that they're going to want to, you know, challenge for automatic really, Kodjia I think will pull his finger out this season, and the way that he played against Ipswich, he actually had a very good game. And if he is able to stay fit for a whole season, I fancy him to score around about 15 goals this year. The same with Benik Afobe as well. Stoke have got quite a few attacking options. You know, there could be a bit of rotation in there with the likes of Berahino and Peter Crouch coming in, but when Stoke City finally get up and running for the season, I think Benik Afobe will be a key member of that team, and I fancy both of them to finish on 15 this season. Coming in as number 4, we are then going to have Kemar Roof of Leeds United. I'm going to say he will finish on 16 goals for them this season. With the way that Leeds have set up to play this season, I don't necessarily think that they'll be able to keep up this intensity for the whole of the season. You know, it's a grind of a season in the Championship, but with the confidence he's playing with at the moment, it's hard to look past a player like Roof, and with the amount of chances that they create per game, the quality he's got in midfield behind him from the players like Clit, Saiss and Pablo Hernandez, a player like Kemar Roof is hard to look by, but I feel like at times this season he will be swapped out for Patrick Bamford, but I think he can finish on around about 16 goals. Then coming in at 3rd place, we're going to have Neil Maupay. In my opinion, he's going to go ahead and bag 17 goals for Brentford this season. I fancy him and Ollie Watkins to have very big seasons for Brentford this year, and with the way that they started the season, the amount of chances they create per game, I think he's bound to score a ton of goals. Then for the second top scorer, I'm going to go for Britt Assombalonga of Middlesbrough. For him, I'm going to say he will go ahead and bag 20 goals for Middlesbrough this season. So far, I've been very impressed by Assombalonga, and I think that one player who's helped Assombalonga more than anyone has been Martin Braithwaite. It's going to be crucial that Middlesbrough keep hold of him, because the partnership that those two have struck up already has looked fantastic, and if they can keep that going for the whole season, I think Assombalonga could bag 20. But then coming in as the top scorer, I'm going to go for Jay Rodriguez of West Brom with 22 goals. So as you can see, guys, there are my predictions for who I think will be the top 5 goal scorers in the Championship this season. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know down below. But guys, that will now wrap it up for this video, so thank you so much for watching. So like I said at the start of the video, make sure you do leave a vote on the straw poll in the description down below, and also as well, make sure you do leave a comment as to who you think is going to come out as the top scorer this season. I will be reacting to some of those comments at the end of the season. Also, let me know down below what are your thoughts going into tonight's games, if your team is playing, or what do you make of your team's performance yesterday. But like I said, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video, so if you did enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. Also as well, please do subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.